Hey guys, welcome to this new episode of Kickstarter campaign analysis. Today we are gonna take a look at a game called Elder's Blood that will come out for both PC and Nintendo Switch. So the game is a Polish-made game. It can be described as a mix between Banner Saga, which we will see in a moment, and the Bloodborne, thematically speaking, and we will discuss that in a second. Actually, I was wrong. The game, as written here, will also come out for PS4 and Xbox. So, what is interesting about this game? This is a campaign that I backed. It's a campaign that had a very low goal, $12,000. It might seem a big number, but if you're familiar with video game development, you know that that's probably the money they need to pay rent for their office and the salary of the small team involved that we can see at the bottom here of the page, maybe for 1 month. So technically speaking, why they're doing this campaign is mostly for marketing reasons. And well, I have to say that I've been following the campaign when it was on, and this went surprisingly slow. Surprisingly, because it has a very interesting art style, which is inspired from Bloodborne, Sony's Bloodborne. If you're familiar, it's kind of this Souls game, very difficult with this very striking art style, which is very much reflected here in the hunters here, and it also mixes it with a popular game genre, which is the strategic kind of combat that XCOM made famous. And then other games came along, such as, for example, as the Banner Saga. I was a bit surprised by how slow this went, because clearly the game is in a very advanced state. I think it will come out in February, if I'm correct. They cannot make it for January, which is the date that you see here, but it will come out. It will come out soon. During the campaign, actually, maybe just after the campaign, it was possible to download the beta, and the beta is also alpha and beta were also part of the rewards. One issue that I think they had, first of all, they didn't have an existing community behind it, and it was very clear because in the end they got only 600 backers, which I think they had to convince one by one during the campaign. Yeah, I mean, like, this is surprising because I will show you in a second another campaign that is very similar, technically speaking, and that went on in 2012. The first one, the Banner Saga. There's been two after this. There's been one for the tabletop game of this game, and also for the third episode of the saga. The Banner Saga, which offers a similar art style, a very similar gameplay, similar scope of the project. First of all, they had $100,000 goal, and they raised $723,000 with this amount of backers, 20,000 backers. Of course, it was a novel project at the time. Behind the project, there were people that worked on other games that people hold dear. If we scroll down, we can even see. Okay, of course, now what you see here is the campaign that unlocked so many stretch goals. It didn't look like this in the beginning. This is also something that I backed back at the time, and I have to say the game is pretty good. So if you want to get it, I highly recommend it. But so we have people that work on Star Wars Galaxies, the Old Republic, Justice League America for DC. Then we have Shadowbane. Again, this guy also worked on Star Wars titles. And if I remember correctly, there was also someone that worked on the Mass Effect saga. So they could draw in quite a lot of people. But basically, you can see that you could get the main reward for $10. So it is very surprising that they managed to raise that much. And of course, they have higher tiers that I invite you to explore on how did they manage to raise that much money. But going back to Alder's Blood, give me a second. You can see that they have one issue, and something clearly happened in between 2012 and 2019, because I managed to back this at $17. The retail value is 25. If you're familiar with the video game market, you know that games devalue very, very fast. So a simple discount, it's really not enough anymore to draw people in. So you can see that actually I paid $12 because I was an early bird, but the normal price would be 20. So you will get a $5 discount from the main for the main reward, which is, I mean, it's a good discount, but clearly is not enough to draw people in. So what happened in between? Why this game that is kind of similar to the one that made so much money wasn't this successful this time? I'll show you another article that Gamma Sutra was publishing a few days ago, using data from ICO partners that we also use in the course. So these are the updated data for video games in 2019. So you can see that 2012 was the year when this thing was exploding for video games compared to 2011. And then 2013 was the peak. Then something happened. And what happened is that many projects failed to deliver, or delivered with massive delays, or they didn't deliver at all. And then the year after, all of a sudden, we have the thing slashed in two. Then again, there's a bit of hope. But then after 2015, people were kind of fed up. It's like, okay, video games on Kickstarter, they're risky. So you can see that the amount of money that was put into Kickstarter after 2015, it's kind of stable. So there is, unfortunately, this aura of distrust for video games on Kickstarter. It doesn't mean that you cannot have a good campaign, but unfortunately, it also means that it's very unlikely that you will manage to raise the full funding needed to make your game, and also pay salaries, and also pay expenses. So the best shot that you have when you try to fund a game on Kickstarter is actually to use it as a marketing platform. And in this sense, I think Alder's Blood has been a bit more successful, because now there's people that have the game on the wish list, you know, that's always a good thing. Probably it will give it the necessary bump in the beginning, so that other people will get to know the game, and hopefully make this a successful venture. If you liked this lesson, I will invite you again to check out the courses that are available at academy.writingball.com. You should see the URL on the top of my head. The first one is free. It covers the full first module of the main course, which is called Game Crowdfunding from Start to Funded. I go over 40 different topics related to your crowdfunding campaign for games, and according to your need, there are here's the full curriculum. You can scroll down. It's a lot of material. I try to keep it updated as much as possible. And there are 3 different options. If you just care about the content, there is a cheaper one, and if you need some guidance, there are other ones. So if you like this video, please take a look at academy.writingball.com. This is it, even for this campaign analysis, and we'll see on the next one. Thank you.